Thank you, distinguished colleagues. My motion is on the need for tankers transporting flammable products and premium motor spirit to Nigeria to adhere to the 1957 United Nations International Agreement concerning the carriage of dangerous goods by road. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, you are aware that in recent times, incidents of petroleum tanker crashes causing oil spillage resulting in fire carnage and leading to death and loss of lives has been rampant in the country. Aware that on Thursday, the 14th of November 2019, a petroleum tanker laden with fuel crashed along the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, emptying its contents in the process and causing huge calamity and terrible fire incident in Songo Water. Further aware that as a direct result of the incident, lives were lost, 17 recognized vehicles were burnt, nearby shops and buildings were razed, and a number of injured persons were recorded by the Federal Road Safety Commission. Recall that on Thursday, 18th of October 2018, Nigeria acceded to the United Nations 1957 International Agreement concerning the carriage of dangerous goods by road, an agreement that came into force on the 18th of November the same year. Note, amongst others, that the provision of the agreement required trucks conveying dangerous goods, including petroleum products, to be installed with tanker seal valves, which prevents the liquefied content from spilling its content in the event of accident. Further note that the non-compliance of truck owners and persons involved in the transportation of these goods have constantly resulted in loss of lives and properties of Nigerians, which often happens without adequate compensation. Concerned that if this hallowed chamber does not call on the right authorities to implement the provisions of this agreement, which Nigeria is a signatory to, these incidents might continue unabated. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the following are my prayers. Observe a minute silence in honor of those who lost their lives. Commensurate with the families of all those who lost their lives and were injured as a result of the accident. Number 3, call on the relief agencies to take stock with a view to providing relief and other assistance to those affected. Number 4, mandate owners of trucks involved in the accident to compensate victims of the accident. And number 5, mandate relevant regulatory agencies ensuring strict compliance with safety and the United Nations 1957 International Agreement concerning the carriage of dangerous goods by road for the purpose of safeguarding against the recurrence of these types of accidents in and around businesses and communities along our roads. I so submit. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, distinguished.
I rise to support this motion by this distinguished senator, Tolu. Mr. President, this is becoming a recurrent decimal on daily basis that innocent lives are lost due to one disaster or the other. This motion before us this morning is one motion too many relating to similar issues. Mr. President, I think it's high time we take a critical look at the causes of these disasters. A few weeks ago, it was in Anambra, again Ogun State, again Ogun, Lagos, Anambra, every day. I think something must be responsible for this. But one fact remains that we may not understand what these families go through when they lose their dear ones. We must understand that this affects the ordinary citizens of Nigeria. And I'm sure some of them are due to overload or not obeying the basic laws regarding to carriage of such inflammable products. So I think this Senate must do something to really address this, so we don't keep hearing this type of motion on daily basis. The unions can be of help in this case. The union of road transport workers and union of trailer owners and all that could be summoned, and education should be the key. and training. So when we don't train these people and they are in their carelessness, their trailers fell and killed 17 lives. 17 lives is not 17 chicken. So it's, for a nation that lost 17 people, is a serious issue. And we must look at it. Within the past 1 year, I'm sure we must lose over 100 people. And you know, some of these people are breadwinners of their families. And when this do happen, darkness fills the home. And nobody cares about their well-being. So in this period of our economic challenges, we should try to prevent some of these occurrences. So it is in that light that I rise to support Senator Tolu and to sympathize with all the people concerned. So,
accordingly resolves to observe a minute of silence in honor of those who lost their lives. Those in favor of prayer 1 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2, commiserate with families of all those who either lost their lives or were injured as a result of the accident. Those in favor of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 3, call on the relief agencies to take stock with a view to provide the relief and other assistance to all those affected. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 4, mandate owners of the truck involved in the accident to compensate victims of the accident. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. There is neither no yea or this. So this, I will put it again. Those in favor of the prayer 4 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. And prayer 5, mandate relevant regulatory agencies towards ensuring strict compliance to safety and to the United Nations 1957 International Agreement concerning the carriage of dangerous goods by road for the purpose of safeguarding against the recurrence of these types of accidents in and around businesses and communities along our roads. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Point of order.